Okay, we're now in the bottom end of Poole. That structure that you can see just there was where I filmed the some of the key shots, and I've walked through. There's another pub there on the corner, which most of these pubs at this end of town have changed their names over the years. Here we have this Poole Museum and the King Charles pub is just there in the background. You can just see the black and white wood. There's another pub there. There's plenty of places to eat, lots of pubs. This is another pub that I used to frequent regularly, King's Head. It's very quiet tonight on the old part of town. This part of the high street is closed off to traffic. It's just starting to get a little bit cooler tonight. It's just beginning to get a bit drizzly, but and this is another popular pub, Antelope, the Antelope pub. All of these pubs have got some history behind them, especially with the Poole port and the association with the shippings, and on the front there's some very interesting pubs that go to the Napoleonic period. But it's very quiet tonight, not many people about. This used to be, this time of year, especially in the summer months, it used to be absolutely jam-packed with visitors and people on holiday. But as we start to get back to normal, people are beginning to come back, but at the moment it's a little bit on the sparse side for visitors. Plenty of there's a Thai restaurant there, there's an Asian restaurant here, another place here, grill. Plus you've got the old shops that have always been here. Skechers has been here for quite some years. Can't get over how quiet it is. It's very, very quiet this evening, and you can hear the seagulls in the background. There's some more eateries here to the left. So this part of the old town is now closed off, as you can see, with the bollards preventing cars coming down. And we have a multi-storey car park in the distance. And some nice restaurants here. Been in these several times over the years. There's a nice Rolls Royce, black and silver. Lovely. But this Poole is like most towns now. They change and they redevelop, and they close the high streets off to cars so that pedestrians can use the high street. I can remember years ago this high street used to be double traffic, and I think that once they stopped all the traffic being able to park, a lot of the shops were closed, and they never really recovered. Hence, a lot of the clubs, lots of the old style shops you can remember, like Tandy's and all the electrical stores that used to be quite popular, now closed and gone. And most of these shops now used to be charity shops. But there again, at this time of night, in days gone by, they used to be open till quite late. But at the moment, as you can see, there's a pub there, brew house. That's an old Poole pub. Lots of history with it. This used to be, this Waste Not Want Not was used to be where the Tandys used to be. That store is now completely gone, so it's a shame. But this is Poole High Street. It's really, like most, it's been decimated by less people coming into the town. Car parking isn't cheap. And it's difficult to park, so people tend to shop out of town or stay to the local. And this restaurant here, Janali's, used to be Lloyd's Bank years ago. That used to be the Lloyd's Bank on the high street, believe it or not. This was a Wetherspoons pub. I think they've closed it. Oh, there's been some work going on in there. This is Boone's. This has been here for years. It's quite an old traditional Poole shop. This is another pub. It's one of those that's changed its name. I can't remember what it used to be called, but I used to frequent this pub as well years ago. That's all starting to hopefully bounce back, but you don't seem to see any shops that are open in the evenings anymore that used to stay open till late. You can see there's a charity shop there, one there, and this is the Lloyd's Bank that moved from the Janali's I showed you just a little while ago. I walk all the way down to the high street where the Arndale Centre is, and then we'll come back to the car and call it a night. And then on the right hand side, it's called Pound Stretcher now. That used to be the old Woolworths, which is no longer with us. So this is where Woolworths used to be, in Poole High Street. This used to be quite a well-known electrical shop for TVs and hi-fis, and that's now a food market. Bon Marsh has been there for quite some time. Another one. Most towns have got one of these shops now, Savers. There's another shop there, it's actually closed for let Age UK. So as I say, years ago, these this time of night used to be packed with traffic, visitors, people having a good time eating and drinking, and but over the years People don't tend to come into the towns anymore, do they? They stay local. There's another big retailer that's closed. Used to be Iceland. But I think this Iceland may have moved into one of the big stores. I think it went into not Matalan, it's the Range, I think it is. So this is one of the old churches in Poole, just as you can see it there. Well, this used to be a church. It's now a community hub and home of the Poole Methodists. This used to be, with the poles outside, used to be a Barclays Bank. And round this way this is the back entrance to go to Poole Quay. If you go down there, you'll come back to where we just came from, but through a different route. This is another building that over the years used to be a well-known furniture store in Poole, but they closed, and Burger King moved in, and they moved out. And it's quite interesting, over the years I was able to get right up to the top. They were good enough to let me go upstairs to see what was up there over the years, and it's interesting. And a bit further down here, go back where I just came from, is where McDonald's used to be. So McDonald's have left the high street as well as Burger King that used to be in this building. So just to the right now we have Sainsbury's. I won't go into Sainsbury's. Trust me, it's there, if you can see it. And just see it there in the background. See the name in the background there. This Leighton's Optician has been here for quite some years, and most of these shops close. As Oxfam. Quite a lot of these charity shops are finding it difficult to survive as well. There's one there, British Heart Foundation. But there again, a lot of these shops used to stay open till quite late, but they close early now. If there's no one around, like tonight, it's not late, it's about, I don't know, about 8 o'clock. And this is the railway line that you can see the barriers there. That when there's a train on the way, you'll hear the bells start to ring, and the barriers come down, and then you wait for the train to go across. The barriers then go up. See there, it says keep crossing clear. And if you want to cross when the barriers are down, you can walk up here, go across the bridge down the other side, or you can walk across now. This, where it says Kingland, used to be the old Argos store. The big Argos store used to be.
If I can, it's not Can you get through the arcade?
Sorry?
Can you get through the arcade?
I'm not sure if they've locked it or not.
No point going.
And this is Falkland Square. There's a few other shops as we go around, and this is the entrance into the indoor Arndale Centre at Poole. It's quite a big centre, it's a nice centre. I'm not sure if it's open. I think it's probably closed at the moment. Doesn't seem to be anybody about, but lots of these shops over the years change very quickly. There's a 3 telephone there, and a bit further back in the distance is Vodafone. But one time this particular spot used to be absolutely loaded with travel agents. And the spot where I'm actually standing on at this moment used to have one of the old pubs in Poole, for the history buffs. This is Falkland Square, so roughly where I'm stood at the moment used to be an old pub that was knocked down to make way for what is behind me, which is one of the entrances into the Arndale Centre, or the Dolphin Centre. So we just walk back down the high street a little bit further. I think we may be lucky with the weather. It's a little bit overcast and starting to get a bit blowy. So we'll give you an idea of Poole High Street today. Was hoping for the weather to be a bit more considerate, but unfortunately it's one of the things we can't predict. So I thought while I was in town, I'll be here for a couple of days. I was hoping to film Poole Lifting Bridge to give you an idea of what that's involved. And but here, all this little corner here, over the years, used to be full up with travel agents. There used to be so many travel agents next door to each other. You know, that was when things were different. These would all be open, you know, coffee houses, and all of these shops behind these boardings. These used to be travel agents, all boarded up. Looks like there is one survivor, and that's Chewy, which is just to the right here. So this is one of the other entrances into the Arndale Centre, or the Dolphin Centre. Not sure what it's called at the moment, it's Dolphin or the Arndale, but but I don't often come to Poole, so every time I do come back, something is changed, something is different, and the roads are particularly difficult for me to remember today. It's been this part of town. I don't come to this part of town regularly, well, if at all. It's been about 5 or 6 years since I was in Poole, but the roads have changed. It's tremendous. And if you'd have said to me, whereabouts are you, and I was in the car and I was finding myself in Poole, I wouldn't have said it was Poole, because it's changed so much over the years. It's just changed, like most towns. We're just walking backwards now to the way that we came. You can see the cloud. It's quite overcast. It's not cold at all. It's very lucky to be dry. No wind. It's quite still. It's quite mild, but threatening to rain, which is a bit of a nuisance. I had my big camera filming the quay earlier, and I'm hoping to use some of that footage with this footage. I'm filming this now on the phone, on the Samsung. Can't beat the seagulls. So here we go. We're going to go back the way that we came. And to the right, as I said, that's Falkland Square again, in the distance there to the right. Oh, we've got the train's on its way, which is good. You can see the train. The lights are flashing. Barriers are down. So we'll wait and see what goes by together. As I say, if anybody that was in a rush, you could use the stairs up and over to the left there, as we saw on the way through. That's the stairway. Or if the railway buffs want to go up, they can see the trains as they go past underneath their feet. So I'll just back up a little bit and watch the train go by, which will be any time soon. I'll just show you the noise. It's that machine there that is lifting people up to do the repairs to over the some of the shops. So apologies. There we go. There's the train. Almost missed it. This line goes to and from London, Wareham, and beyond. And then in a few seconds the barriers will go up and the lights will go off and we can walk across. And if it stays down, it means there's another train on the way. It's starting to get a bit blustery now, so hopefully you won't get too much wind noise on the microphone. I'm going to do now is walk up the stairs across the railway, so you can see what it would look like if people wanted to come across this way while the trains are coming, to save waiting for the barriers to lift. So just a bit further down is Poole station. And here comes another train. That's why the barriers are down still. There we go, there the barriers going up, so pedestrians can now cross. The trick is not to fall over while you've got the camera. Oh, here we are. This is going back the way that we came. So I hope you enjoyed some of the sights and sounds of Poole High Street. This is the High Street, and we're walking backwards now towards the old part of Poole. Earlier we we filmed a little bit about Poole Quay, and Tuesday night is, I think it's Bikers Night on the quay. They close the quay off. And we have Sainsbury's again to the left on the way back. As I say, I hope to have done this live tonight, but because of the weather was a little bit unpredictable as it is at the moment. You can see the cloud above is quite cloudy, a bit blustering. So by the time I got everything sorted out, the tripod and everything, it would have been difficult to have got it all put away quickly if the rain had come. I could be wrong, but I think this is where McDonald's used to be. It's either in that shop there where it's called the Entertainer. I think that may be the one, or it's this one here. Oh no, it's not Iceland's, it must be this one. So this must have been where the old McDonald's used to be. So when they left the high street, and that was always busy, that was always a busy shop. It was a bit of a surprise when they decided to leave Poole. But it's a sign of the times, you know. So we've almost done a complete full circuit, and I'll be veering off to the right hand side, not going all the way back to where we came from, because I've parked in one of the car parks just to the right. This used to be an old jewellery shop, you know, sort of leather bags for ladies, and then just on the left, that used to be an indoor market. Butchers, lots of shops, you know, that used to go in there, like butchers, paintings, and they had the upstairs as well. And then quite some years ago they all left, and it's now the job centre, Poole Job Centre. So folks, I hope you've enjoyed a little bit of a wander through the old part of Poole, down the quay, and I'm just heading back towards the car park. Hopefully I'll get there before it starts to rain. I think I may be lucky. Let's hope so anyway. Well, thanks for joining me. I hope you've had a nice wander through Poole. If there's anything else that you would like to see locally in Poole, I do want to film the lifting bridge and the Twin Sails Bridge. The Twin Sails Bridge particularly because it's the newest one, and it's quite spectacular at night with the lights on it. So I'm going to call it a night now, folks. Have a lovely remainder of the night, and thanks for joining me, and have a good evening, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye now. Bye bye.